Hey there, welcome back to my channel, LeeBeeBuilds. Or if you're new here, hi, my name is Aaliyah and I build in The Sims 4. Today's video is a part of a collab with Bethlesimmer. Bethlesimmer is one of my very close friends in the simming community and I'm so happy to be doing this collab with her. This is a base game only home. It is here in Oasis Springs, and based on the style of all the landscaping and the house, I would recommend that this be placed in Oasis Springs for like a base game only world, just because it makes the most sense. It would probably stand out very much in like Willow Creek or something. So yeah, Oasis Springs is the way to go. For this collab, how it worked is that I did all the landscaping, I built the shell, decorated like the outside of the shell, and with the patio in the backyard, I did all of that. And then Beth, she went in and she decorated the interior and did the floor planning and all of that fun stuff. So once you're done watching this video, I highly recommend that you click the link in the description that takes you to Beth's video, where you can watch her speed build of doing the interior. I'm really curious to see what she did with it. I haven't seen it yet, obviously, because the video hasn't come out yet, but I'm really excited to go watch it and see what she did with it. This is base game only, so I'm very interested to see how she builds this house with base game items. I personally am glad I only had to do the outside, because I find that when I start getting in the inside for base game, I find it so much harder. But on the outside, the landscaping, you can go into debug and there's plenty of plants that work. Like I used these light colored yellowy green bushes here that I thought looked pretty desert-like. I used some cacti and some other like desert plants that were made for Oasis Springs, and I think it fit really nicely. And it was just like, the landscaping was quite easy. There wasn't that much to it, just a lot of rocks, like so many rocks. It's absolutely like whack how many rocks I used, but it's great. I love it. And then I decided that for this house, I would raise it up on a little bit of a platform, because if you look at the world around this lot, there's like different levels of the like desert, and then there's some rocks, and then there's some desert, and then there's some rocks, and it's like kind of goes up like that. And so I kind of continued that pattern and then like centered a nice modern home right on top. And I thought that was kind of a fun idea. Looking at the shell, there are a lot of like weird like divot things, I don't know how you would call them, like little one tile blocks off the house to try to make a modern home look more interesting and dynamic. And I'm really curious to see what Beth did with them, if she just closed them off, put bookcases in them, or whatever. I'm not sure, but I'm curious to see what she does, because this is kind of a weird shaped home. But you know, you gotta make it interesting, right? And I personally really like it. I think it's really cool and fun, and I think it totally fits Oasis Springs. Maybe not this specific neighborhood, because if you look across the road, you'll notice that there is a giant like Spanish style home, and I could have done that, as this is base game only, so I could have like done a Spanish style home, but I really wasn't feeling it. That style is not my strong suit. I would not be good at it, so instead I went with modern, because there are a few modern builds in Oasis Springs, just not necessarily in this specific neighborhood. So I decided to go for the modern route. I just felt it was more me and easier for me to do, because I wanted it to still look good, especially because it's for a collab. And as you can see now, I'm just putting in a bunch of windows, doors. I used some columns that try to make it like a little more textured on the outside, because modern homes, it's hard to make sure that there's still like some sort of texture or something dynamic to it. And yeah, I think I did a pretty good job with it. And yeah, I tried. It's also quite like not colorful, but kind of colorful, because you'll see that like I used the wallpaper, it was like this pinkish orangish color, and then the windows, the glass color is like blue, the front door is blue, and then you've got all the green grass up top, just to show like, hey, this house is in a wealthier neighborhood where, while yeah, it's in the desert, they have the money to either pay for fake grass or for someone to like seriously take care of their grass every day, like a lot of sprinklers or something. And they even have a pool. Like, the family who lives here definitely has a few simoleons in their pocket, that's for sure. But I'm still excited to see what Beth kind of does with it, if she kind of goes all out with making it like modern, kind of rich aesthetic, or if it's more like a family vibe or anything. I really have no idea what she's gonna do, and I'm really interested to see it. Now I'm just kind of doing some more gardens. Like up here, you get beyond the like desert stuff, and you get like flowers and ferns and some like more greenery up here. And I think that really added to the idea that like this is separate from the desert. It's in the desert, but it's separate. And I made this little enclosed garbage area because who wants to see those garbage cans? Not me, not me. And I also just wanted to say that there is a secret item that I've placed in this build. I will hint you, it is hidden in a garden. It has not happened yet, but keep your eye out for it and let me know if you see what I've secretly put in the garden. Let me know if you see it. And I'm curious to see if Beth noticed it. I'm not too sure if she would have looked too much in detail at what I've done, just kind of glanced over and been like, oh cool, whatever, and then started building. But I'm curious to see if she noticed it. I don't think she did because she probably would have messaged me about it, but I now give you the mission to find this secret item that I've placed in a garden. It has not happened yet still, so keep your eyes out. As you can see now, I'm just putting some lights around the build so that it looks more interesting at nighttime. I think that if you're not sticking to a budget or anything for the build, which I fully was not, that this is a great way to spice up your builds, make them look nice at nighttime, and especially for modern homes, make them seem more interesting and more dynamic, because they're usually very flat, especially because like the roof here is literally flat. I didn't do too much of anything with it, so I definitely think that adding all the lights make it look more interesting. It doesn't really show it in daytime, but at nighttime it definitely helps for sure. And so I made it nice and bright, and I even added little lanterns along the walkway so that it lights your way up the path. I did play test the path so your Sims can walk up it. While I was making this build though, there was some weird glitch I was having where the tour, like when you aren't on a lot and you can't, like once you zoom in on a house it like disappears. That's what was happening here, even though I was playing with the Sims, they lived there, and it was a weird glitch. So the tour for this build is quite short, I will warn you. It's like 20 seconds long. So that's just of note there. I couldn't get too many different angles because I couldn't get too close to the house without it disappearing. So yeah, just of note for that. And we're not watching it yet, but in a bit you'll see that in the pool area, patio area, I make this little barbecue area with some counters. And then in the pool, I've put some counters as well. And so my idea was that it was like a sunken swim up bar. And I wonder if Beth was just like, what is happening? Why are these counters here? So you'll see that in just a moment. And I just wanted to say I thought it was kind of cool to put a swim up bar. My original plan was to have it sunken down one level so that you could so it was like not like a huge drop down to the swim up bar, but honestly, like it's whatever. I couldn't have the platform that was like conflicting or whatever, but I think it worked out, and I think it's kind of fun. Like I feel like a house, like an expensive house like this would have like a cool swim up bar. Like that's a cool feature. They have a pool, you might as well have a cool feature like that. And yeah, I decorated it with a lot of orange and blue as well for the like walls and the like items in the backyard. But I hope you like this video. Make sure you go check out Beth's, and I'll see you in the next one. So bye bye everybody.